that was horrible.
Okay, class, thank you for joining me today. So we are here to try to find the name for our new product here, right? So we're calling it C.H.U.D, and we're looking for any suggestions that you guys have in the classroom. So it's an acronym here, so C.H.U.D.
I've got one.
Yeah, what's it, little
I've
Timmy?
got one.
Yeah.
Cypress humans underdressed.
Cypress humans under. Listen, we said
that good?
no bad ideas. That's wonderful. Yes, that's good. Love. Oh, yes, little Johnny back there.
Oh yeah, I got one for you.
Okay, yeah, go.
Cyanide, hungry, unicorn,
Yeah.
dessert.
Okay, these are some ideas. Okay, next. Oh yes, I see another hand over here. Yes, hello. It's me, Devin McJimby, and I think it stands for Children Have Unusual Demands. Now, Devin, I think you were right about that. Anybody else in the class have one? Yes, come in.
Yes, it's me. I'm from the FBI.
Oh, hello, Mr. FBI. Have we done something wrong?
Yes, you're not allowed to use that acronym.
Oh, C.H.U.D, but it's a great new.
Do not say it.
But
do not say it.
You can't say C.H.U.D.
I will shoot you
But it's
in the
just,
face.
It's a fun.
this laser
Kids, it's a
gun.
fun word. Everyone, ready? 1, 2, 3. C.H.U.D.
No. Oh, well. All right, bring in the cavalry.
Wait,
Ship
whoa,
all these
no.
kids out.
Wait,
They're
no,
off to
please,
war.
please, no.
We're kicking all these kids to war
We
now.
can't take them, but
Forget everything you know about C.H.U.D.
But the C.H.U.D, please.
Do you want to know what C.H.U.D stands for?
What does it stand for?
It means kids have a nice day.
Kids
Get out of here.
have a nice day. That's terrible.
Hi, welcome into That Was Horrible.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Isaac.
And I'm Derek. We're your co-hosts.
We are your co-hosts, and we are the best at reviewing the worst of the horror movies. Today, if you could not guess, we watched C.H.U.D.
You know,
What do I know?
do that a lot. Like, you're being like all official, and I'm just like, I have an idea that has to come out of my mouth.
What is your
Wait,
idea?
I don't remember what it was, though.
What? It's been like 3 seconds.
It's been 3 seconds, but I went on a separate tangent. You ever watched a river? You know, like water?
Yeah, what? Yeah, what concept?
You know that, like, when water is going down, like sometimes it branches.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's got
so
like
sometimes though
tributaries
there's
or
2
something.
branches. And if one comes right before that, that one's gonna get a little bit more water
I
than the one
sincerely
after.
feel like this is how your mind works.
That is 100% how my brain works. So this week we watched C.H.U.D.
C.H.U.D. from 1984.
And Isaac, what does C.H.U.D stand for?
C.H.U.D, not Chad. That's a different movie. C.H.U.D stands for, if I can remember, Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers is what it stands for.
Out of, what did I just say?
Out of
Kids have
a nice day.
Those aren't even like related.
No, not even a little bit. There's not even children in this movie. I don't know why we went that route.
Are there not? No, there's that one little cute kid who's like playing with his truck. And you were freaking out about
I
it.
remember there's a kid that gets traumatized at some point.
Is that the one I'm talking about?
Maybe. No, that's the one of the phone booth.
Hey,
That's one I'm
listener,
talking about.
which one am I talking about?
Yeah, please tell me. We need so much help.
So I was looking up. Never mind. It doesn't matter. We can move on. So this week, wow, are we going to get into it? Do you have any bits? Do you have anything to riff on?
That's
Oh, I had something.
Yes,
Hey,
go.
so if you're here right now from YouTube, like an autoplay situation, just like keep listening because you might end up liking it. We
don't leave after 6 minutes like the statistics tell us.
yeah, we recently uploaded all of our episodes to YouTube because we're planning on incorporating that more in the future. And
People listen. The people spoke, and they want YouTube podcasts.
yeah, that's apparently a thing now.
I didn't know it was a thing. I do not listen to my podcast on YouTube, but maybe I should
No,
start.
I don't. But I mean, I guess people like looking at people's faces every once in a while. So we might have to start getting dressed for this podcast because what we normally do is we do it completely naked with only a little paint
and
covering
I'm
up our giblets.
slathered up in like hand sanitizer and stuff to make the whole process smooth.
Just to make sure that you're pure.
I just wanted to be pure.
I
just wanted to be pure.
The reason I bring this up, person who might randomly be here.
That's you. We're talking to you.
I might be you.
Lucas.
That might be you. Jonathan.
If there's a Lucas or a Jonathan
Frank?
listening,
Jen.
well, we gotta be. Yeah, I was gonna say we have to be equal here. So Marissa,
Lucy?
Marissa, you're here.
How about some non-binary names like Alice? Alice could be both.
Alice could be both.
Alex.
Yeah. Alex is
Only A
I've
names.
known a lot of Alexes.
I only do A names.
Only A names. Adrian.
Adrian. No, Adrian.
Adrian can be either.
Nora is a name that I've grown very fond of lately.
Nova.
It's just like a great name.
What about cool names like Lazarus and
Lazarus.
Mozart.
My point is,
You realize, like, you think about, like, the fact that Amadeus, Wolfgang, like, we don't have cool names like that anymore.
Do you know why that
It's
was
like
his
Jonathan
name?
Smith. Why was that his name?
you know why that was his name.
I sincerely do not. Are you pulling my leg?
Because his name was actually Jack.
Uh-huh.
And he was out in the back one day. He was just,
I feel like this is gonna be
And
one of
so-
your famous bits that goes nowhere. Keep going.
he was walking down the street with his top hat,
Yep, mhm.
and this person walked by, and he said, Amadeus. And she said,
Sorry, what is that supposed to be? Amadeus.
it's like, good day.
That's more like him trying to tell her he's a woman. I'm a dame, miss. I'm a dame, miss.
Amadeus. No.
She's like, good day, sir. He's like, I'm a dame, miss.
okay, that works too.
That's better.
And anyway, then he
Uh-huh.
noticed that the woman under the hat was a wolf. And he's like, oh, that's sick. That's a sick. I must make art out of that.
Uh-huh.
I must start.
Let's start
out
a
of that.
gang. Let's start a wolf gang.
Let's start a wolf gang. So then he was like, well, I need an alias.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So he said, well, I said Amadeus.
Amadeus.
So Amadeus.
Amadeus.
Wolfgang. Mozart.
Okay.
And that,
Okay.
my friends, is the origin of Wolfgang Amadeus.
So have we
Mozart.
taken you too far from that other bit you were trying to get us to?
What was the other bit?
Oh my god.
Oh, right.
Okay,
oh,
you're
yeah.
here.
Wait, no, they might have left now because it's after 6 minutes.
Okay.
I hope you're still here. If you're still here, Jennifer, Jimmy, Alice, whatever.
Amadeus, Nova.
Don't leave. Give us a listen. Give us a try. Give us a chance. I know that we
Give
probably
us a chance, please.
we probably auto-played from some ASMR video because
I'm
that's
very
apparently
curious what would autoplay
Yeah.
like us from something into us.
so that's why I bring this up though
Uh-huh.
because one of our episodes is that like I think it was the episode of the
I think it was the Lindsay
the
Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan
I know who blew
episode.
me.
Yeah, which is probably why because it's an innuendo.
it's a great title.
It is a great time. But anyway, it's just like has 130 random people that have auto played into it.
Which is more than we have on a single episode, like on our regular
Normally.
streaming services,
Yeah.
right?
And so I don't understand it. One,
couldn't tell you.
I really want to know
Mhm.
what videos they're coming from because I think it'd be really funny if they're like watching mukbang. They're like watching like someone eat like 100 burgers and
Oh
then
my
our
God.
video auto plays. Like, I don't want to hear about horror movies.
Yeah.
I want to watch someone eat
Gross.
burgers.
Get me out of here.
So anyway, that's what I got.
Yeah, that's us.
I hope you stick around and learn about C.H.U.D with us.
Yeah,
and then maybe check out the rest of our
Let's discuss C.H.U.D. Derek, what have you found out in your researchings
Well-
about C.H.U.D?
So C.H.U.D, it came out in 1984.
Sure did.
It was rated R. I don't know why I said that.
Was it really?
It is
Well,
1 hour
yeah.
and 28 minutes.
No way. That's
Yeah.
why we felt so much longer than that.
Really? I thought it felt short.
No, okay. Well, you
We're
know,
different. We're different people.
We're two different people.
This
This podcast would be pretty boring if it was two people who had the exact same opinions on things.
we should.
You ever think about that?
I did.
It's like it's just better radio if we can like argue and fight, and I can tell you you're an idiot.
I'm kind of-
stupid guy. This movie was short or long. What did I say? Damn it!
What I say, damn it. Anyway, it's a horror sci-fi movie.
Yes.
Hour and 28 minutes long. The reviews you got on this movie, you got Rotten Tomatoes sitting at 29%. So it's
Yep.
sitting right there in that
Sitting
nook.
right under
It's where we
there,
like
under
'em.
our 30% where we usually like to have them.
Audience scores at 33%. So they kind of agree.
Pretty close to each other.
But here's where things differ. So Letterboxd is at 2.8.
Okay.
Metacritic is at 57.
Okay.
I
Whoa.
triple, quadruple checked that.
What's
That's
going on
very
there?
high.
Is these people at Metacritic? What's going on there, huh?
I don't know. IMDb sitting at 5.6, and those are all of the review places that I look at.
Okay.
But again, it's like it's kind of split in half, right? Rotten Tomatoes is where we kind of expect it to be.
Yeah,
and
it
then-
does seem like there are some positive reviews that come through for this movie, right?
Ah, dang it! I just put my hand all over my monitor.
Oh, good.
Because I was trying to cover it up.
What are you trying to hide
Guess
from me?
what the budget for this movie was?
Budget for this
Wait,
movie.
and it came out in 1987.
Yeah.
So let me do some math quick while you think about what this budget was.
Like let's say like $700,000.
$700,000.
Yeah. Right?
So it was
Am I right?
$1.5 million.
Well, you know, money is money, and I don't know damn a thing about it.
I really wish. This
Again.
is why having our cameras on our face is going to be so interesting.
Oh, my
Because
God.
we do so much with our facial
Because you can see how stupid I look when I try to figure out how money works. We've made this is going to be we're in our 20s in our episodes now, and I still don't understand like how much money it takes to make a movie,
And that's
good
okay.
or bad.
and that's okay.
So you said 1.5, how much? 1.5 million?
Yeah, it was 1.5 million, and in today's money, that would have been about 4 million.
Wow.
So went up a bit. How much do you think it made, though?
Made less than that. Can I start there?
You could start there, but you're wrong.
No.
You're wrong.
Stop. You're kidding
It's a lot higher.
No way.
It's over double.
No way.
Yeah, dude, this movie made a ton of money. I don't understand how. Which
went
is probably
to
why
see
it made
this?
a sequel.
Like,
I don't know.
I watched the trailer for this movie. It was not the most enticing thing I've ever seen.
And apparently it was home video too. So what I'm assuming is the box office is kind of including all of the home video sales.
Gotta be
So
that, right?
Blockbuster went crazy on C.H.U.D. is what I'm learning.
Moment of silence for the fallen Blockbuster. We miss you.
For those under the age of 30, which is both of us.
Yeah, what are you saying?
I went to Blockbuster as a kid. There was one across the street
Did
from
you
my
ever
house.
go to Hollywood Video?
I did.
Okay, I don't
did, a lot.
I swear I made it up because I don't hear anybody talking about it. Everyone's always like, "Oh, Blockbuster, I miss you," but I was like, it was like Hollywood Video was like the Spencer's Gifts to like Hot Topic, you know? Like it was like the edgier version of the same store.
Which is
That's
so funny.
how Hollywood Video felt to me.
No, and I completely agree. And I liked Hollywood Video more.
Yeah.
I felt going to Blockbuster, I was cheating on Hollywood Video.
I felt that way either way. Either time I went there. No, I definitely felt like I feel like my family like were regulars at Blockbuster, and then we went to Hollywood Video, and I was cheating. I was like, I'm sinning. What am I doing here? But it's just like kind of like the bad boy video rental place. It's just so dirty. It was grungy,
and their gaming store was Game Crazy. Like,
oh my god, you're so right.
I still have games from Game Crazy in my basement.
I specifically remember like I would rent more games from Hollywood Video than Blockbuster. Anyway, that's that
they
random
had Guitar Hero
tangent.
controllers.
So
I would
how
walk
much?
in, play
How much
Guitar Hero
money
3.
did C.H.U.D make?
$4.7 million.
No,
in that money.
In that
so in
money?
today's money, it would be $12 million.
That's
now,
bonkers.
something I wasn't
Absolutely
completely
bonkers.
sure on, and I should mention,
Okay.
where I got these sources from, it wasn't clear if it had already been adjusted for inflation.
Okay.
Either way,
That's
that's a shit ton of money.
a lot of money. I
So,
would
yeah.
love to have either of those dollar amounts.
They definitely made a C.H.U.D 2 after this for some reason. All right, so
Sure did, and it looks dog shit. It looks so bad.
really does. It doesn't look related at all.
No, not even a little bit.
C.H.U.D was directed by Douglas Cheek. It was written by Parnell. It was written by Parnell Hall, Shepard Abbott, and Christopher Curry. Christopher Curry also starred in the movie. He was the main this guy. Let's look at my screen right here. He was the detective dude.
The detective, like Captain Bosch?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He was like the main.
And he did
main
what for
guy.
the movie?
He helped write it.
Wow. That's interesting.
Christopher Curry, he hasn't really written too much, but he has acted in a lot since then. This was his only writing credit.
Big time actor.
Yeah, so like he acted in Glee. He was in a couple episodes. He played Gunther. I don't remember his character.
Fan favorite Gunther.
Anyway, he's done a few things here and there. Parnell Hall.
Cool name.
He only
better
wrote
than Cheek.
C.H.U.D. He acted in Billions for Boris. If you want to tell me what that is,
Just gave us
no idea what that
a
is.
great time and then dipped out.
And then Shepard Abbott also only made C.H.U.D. So if the money is correct, what I'm thinking happened, these guys struck gold and got out of there.
They're like, listen, I'm not here for the whole Hollywood lifestyle, making another one. It was kind of a headache to do in the first place. I'm going to take this fat cash wad, get the hell out of Dodge.
I'm going to need you to never say cash wad.
Cash wad? What about scratch, greenback, moolah, cheddar?
Are these things all people say?
Money. Yeah, there's a bunch.
I want my money.
That's another one.
Money. Is that a thing people
I
say?
keep going
What
all day.
on earth? Okay, so I clicked on Douglas Cheeks.
And he's looking at porn now, I think. What have you done?
No, that's
I
just
knew
an
the name
abdomen.
was suggestive, but this is a little serious.
Listen, Isaac, that's just an abdomen. It doesn't have to be pornography.
It's true. Ants have abdomens.
That's how you know we live in Utah, is I used the word pornography. Okay, Douglas.
Yeah, you see it on billboards that say pornography kills.
Oh my gosh, you do though.
Yeah,
and like
it's not a joke.
There's that one. What's that magazine? What's that magazine?
Cosmopolitan.
Yeah,
Yes.
Cosmopolitan is pornography.
Yes.
Yeah. Classic Utah. What? Never. Well, maybe change.
Maybe change a lot, but
Maybe change a lot.
we're not here to
Douglas
talk about that.
Cheek.
Yeah, let's talk about cheek. You slapping the cheeks?
Doug.
Is that what you're doing?
No, I just thought. I don't know. Do you ever read a name and you're like, this name deserves a sound effect?
I do not. I don't think I do. I think that just might be a crazy you
Wait,
thing.
What would be my sound effect for my name?
Wah, wah.
Okay, I was gonna give yours more like
No.
a jubilant.
What's mine?
Isaac.
Woo!
So now every time you say your name, hello, I'm Isaac. Woo!
That's
And
fair.
Hello, I'm Derek.
Wah, wah.
Aw. Well, anyway, Douglas Cheek.
Yes.
He. It's the funniest thing I've ever done in my life. He's mainly an editor. So
Okay.
he has only directed C.H.U.D. and then he has edited a ton of movies.
Okay.
So like, he tried to dip his toes and that's all that happened.
And that's all. Yeah.
The reason we're talking about porn is when I pulled up his IMDb profile, there's just a big old abdomen, big old hairy abdomen.
Trailer for something. What's that a trailer for?
Claustrophobia 2011.
Ooh.
You ever heard of that? I think it's a
Nope.
horror movie.
I could be claustrophobic in those abs.
Oh my gosh, I clicked on it and look, more abdomen. Everything
It just
is
keeps going.
abdomen.
It's the longest abdomen you've ever seen. Doctors hate him. Him and his centipede body.
Gynecologists hate him because it's really hard to get to.
And he hates people that try to tickle him because it's so much real estate. He
gosh.
can never escape. Where can he go with his long, weird abdomen?
Wow, I really have to think about this one for a while.
Yeah, let's sit on that for a second. Do you have any more information?
No, that's actually like it.
That's it? That's all you got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Do you want to read some C.H.U.D. reviews from the Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I'm just really worried about his abdomen.
He's gonna be all right, I think.
Are you sure?
So let's see. Let's get James Oeli. I don't know how would you pronounce that? Oily. James Oily. I don't
What's
know.
his sound effect?
From Sci-Fi Movie Page.
Wait, I want to know his sound effect.
So this is a shut up.
Duck.
This is a rotten review. So if Woody Allen's Manhattan was a cinematic love song to New York, then surely C.H.U.D. is its hate song.
Kevin Carr of 7M Pictures says, I wanted to see this movie as a kid, but when I finally did, I was disappointed.
So sad for you, Kevin Carr. James Kendrick from Q Network Film Desk says, a fun slice of Reagan-era monster madness that embodies more than a few of its era's political and environmental fears. That's a positive one.
And then Scott Weinberg of E-Film Critic says, beware of any movie title that tries to be an acronym. I don't know why, it just felt better to...
No, yeah, it's very. I got chills from that one.
Are they multiplying?
They're multiplying.
You losing control?
I'm losing control. Do you want to talk about our? I was hoping if I could get into the expectations fast enough, then I wouldn't have to see Timothy Man. And here we are.
Hello, it's me, Timothy Man. I got a game for you. For some reason, I've started doing this every episode,
It's
but
like
I keep coming up with great ideas.
It's a thing every time, and I don't know if you planned them except for right now.
Definitely did not plan this one.
Let's go. Give it to me, Timothy.
Okay, so
Timothy.
don't look at my screen.
All right. This is secret times. Eyes are closed.
Hello, it's me, Timothy Man.
Yep, there he
In
is.
front of me, I have a list of movies or TV shows with acronyms as their title.
Okay.
You have to tell me successfully if what the acronym stands for.
Oh my god.
Successfully. Isn't this one great?
This is impossible is what it
Great.
is.
No, it's great. We'll start easy because
Okay, sure.
number one on this list is C.H.U.D.
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 Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
You get 1 point.
Woo!
All right. JFK.
John F. Kennedy, I think.
Sorry, that one was funny to me. All right. MASH. M-A-S-H.
I know you're gonna hate me because you know what this one is, and I do not.
I don't actually. I've seen this show 100 times. I don't think I could have told you.
Military assistance squad help.
All right.
What does it stand
Mobile
for?
Army Surgical Hospital.
I was like in the ballpark. I was somewhere near something.
All right.
But nothing at the same time.
SWAT. S-W-A-T.
SWAT, like that's a movie?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the SWAT team stands for. What is
Special.
secure? Oh no,
No, take a guess.
secure women at Timmy's.
Okay, so what you're telling me is everything the SWAT does is
they're
just securing
they're
women
there
at
to
Timmy's.
secure women at Timmy's.
Special Weapons and Tactics.
Special weapons and tactics. God, this is
All right.
See, the problem with these games is I'm the only one that has to play them, and you realize that I'm an idiot.
No. They're
anything.
very, very hard questions. Okay, Wally. W-A-L-L hyphen E.
Waste allocated God damn, I used to know this one.
You're so close.
Oh, I know it's waste allocation lematodes. What is this?
Load.
Load? Waste allocated load. There's a second EL, right?
Lifter.
Load lifter endorphins. What's the E?
Earth class.
Earth class. God, I was so far off. I got the first two.
So the movie was originally called Wallach.
Was
But
it
they didn't-
really?
No. I was being stupid. All right. And then for the win.
or the loss. I haven't got
No.
anything.
If you get this one, you'll win.
Whoa.
Gattaca.
No.
Gattaca.
That stands for something?
Apparently, I didn't know this
Good
until
Lord.
right
God, Geminis always take time around controlled animals. I think there's not
me. It's
Science Jim here to tell me about Gattaca.
myself into here.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, so in this film, DNA information determines everyone's fate. The human genome contains about 3 billion nucleic acids, and the sequence Gattaca occurs in the human genome roughly 180,000 times.
Okay.
It stands for
Here we go.
guanine,
No,
adenine,
stop.
thiamine,
Are you
and
kidding me?
cytosine. The 4 nucleobases of the DNA.
God, okay, yeah. So I definitely was. I had
Science,
no
Jim.
chance
Get out of here.
whatsoever.
All right, get out of here, Tim. So that was stacked against you.
Yeah, a little bit.
think that one was
it
stacked against you a
You
little bit.
think?
But you know what I'd like to know?
What would you like to know?
I would like to know how you feel giving me your expectations.
Okay, how I would give you my expectations. I would love it a lot more than playing that game. So my expectations. First, I wrote cult classic. I think so. Not sure why, but that was an assumption of mine. I wrote, we will never see a full body shot of the C.H.U.D creature. It just felt like another one of those where like everything I saw from the trailer was like a bit of the hand or a bit of the face, but never all of it in one scope, right? Which I mean makes sense if you're like trying not to go blow all of your budget on the design and practical suit for a creature. Because like if you got your Rawhead Rex, which was an
Yeah.
entire top to bottom suit, like that costs a lot of money. It
does.
And it's also hard to move around and stuff. So anyway, I thought we probably weren't going to see all of C.H.U.D in one go. That was an assumption of mine, an expectation. Next, I wrote, much like any other 80s horror movie, it will have a boppin' soundtrack. And that was kind of given just because the music was in the trailer a bit. And I was like, yep, it's got some good tunes, good 80s synth going on.
I mean, before they even like flashed any images on the screen of the
music was
trailer,
there,
you were like,
yeah.
oh, blah, blah.
Hell yeah, love it. Yeah, I'm down for it, always. I wrote, I will side with the creature. Maybe it was made because of man's negligence or something like that, but I felt like it's going to be one of those movies where like, I hate the people more than I hate the monster killing them. Which, I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably usually true for me
Usually
because
true.
I'm
Yeah.
a monster simp. And then my final one is, I just said, I don't think we'll see a lot of on-screen kills because there wasn't a lot going on in the trailer. And usually trailers, especially for horror movies in the 80s, will typically use that as bait to get people in.
Absolutely.
Like, look at this wild kill. But yeah, I figured we would not see a lot of it happen on screen. It would always be off-screen kills. And I'm going to pass it to you, to Derek.
All right. I thought the creature will be really cool, but I assumed it would have some sort of suit that's hard to move in.
Yep, there we
Kind
go.
of like what you were doing. A
Little bit.
You know? I hate to reuse this, but it really felt like this is going to be another one of those movies where
Uh-huh.
person fall down, person scream, C.H.U.D make noise, person die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's tough because like thinking about that from my standpoint is like, how could you realistically like and do this well where it's like you show the creature killing something,
Yeah.
right? Like it's tough. I
is
understand
tough.
why it happens the way it does if you don't want to blow all of your budget on something like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just an expectation.
Although sometimes it is fun when they do try and it looks
Yeah.
cheesy, but like you made an attempt and it was funny to watch.
I kind of think the reason that expectation keeps appearing in my brain,
Yeah.
I mean, this is only the second time, but it's because of Rawhead Rex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it
because
was
that was most of it.
Yeah, it was like 90% of it. Super annoying characters that don't do anything for the plot and just die.
Is that right?
Outlandish origin story. Some point through the movie. There's another one.
For C.H.U.D, the creature?
Yeah, just for the creature.
Makes sense.
All of the cool effects were in the 1-minute trailer. So
Were they though? There weren't a lot of effects going on in the
Yeah,
trailer.
when I wrote that expectation, it was during the trailer and it was after the explosion.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I was
They
like,
did show
that was probably it.
Yeah, some of the more climactic moments were definitely in the trailer. That was something about the trailer, though. I feel like the trailer was awfully misleading because before we even get into our notes here, I can say, like, it took a while before we actually saw a lot of C.H.U.D action, and almost all of the trailer was just people running away from the creature and screaming and, like, chaos. Ah!
I mean, to be fair, that was a good majority of the movie.
I feel like, but only, like, halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, Yeah, without getting into it too deep, definitely the first like 35 minutes or so was just
Or do you want to get into it too deep and we can start?
that's weird.
Yeah, no, let's just go.
Why would we do that?
Well, you can when
I
you're
thought,
feeling
I
ready,
thought we were about to end the podcast.
when you're feeling ready and you're comfortable, you can join me in the space.
I'm
play
right
with me in the
here.
space. So we get the opening sequence. It's the street at night. It's looking dingy. We're in New York City. There's a woman walking with her dog. She's definitely about to die. And boy, does she. So quick.
Very quick.
We get the shot of like a manhole cover, right? Leading down into the sewers. I was like, okay, so basically C.H.U.D is a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they wasted absolutely no time. She's walking with her little dog, and then a claw hand comes up from the sewer grate, and then just yoinks her in. Just immediate death as she's sucked into the manhole.
It full on sucked her in.
Yeah, no time wasted. She's just gone, just like swallowed up.
It was like mouth to the floor suck in, too.
Yeah, it was. It was intense, but that is the opening sequence. Basically, it was super quick. We just see a lady get dragged into a manhole really, really fast. Don't see anything of what happens to her. She's just gone.
No.
And then C.H.U.D, here's the name of the movie.
In the greatest font.
In like huge lettering too. It was like, what did you say? It's like they knew they were going to be like old people watching this movie, so they used the biggest font possible. It's like I feel like I find this out when I go to like movie theaters and I see old people on their phones before the movie, and they have the biggest font size imaginable. It's like embarrassing to me.
Now be careful, because not all old people do that. Also, people just with bad eyesight.
That's true. I just see it a lot more in older people.
I was trying to make a joke. That joke I was trying to make was like, this movie is old, and they're like, the people who are watching this movie now are young, but eventually they'll be old. So let's make the font real big for them.
Yeah, we're future planning here. You know, future us is going to really enjoy this.
We call that flanning.
future planning.
Yeah, that's actually where flannel came from.
Because you plan to wear a flannel in the future. Yeah, I'm flanning for my flannel. This is my flanned flannel. I was flanneling for my flannel.
I was planning for my plannel.
Well, now what's a flannel?
Well,
now what's that made of? It's a pleather shirt. It's a pleather flannel. It's a flannel.
You should see his eyes.
This is an idea.
They're bright.
Someone give me some pen and paper.
What's that above your head?
We gotta write.
It's a light bulb.
What? Get it? What? Get it out of here!
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Oh my God.
Hold on, technical difficulties.
I can't take it out, Derek.
It's okay.
It hurts.
Wait, we're gonna cut the feed real quick. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Nothing happened.
I've learned to accept it, and whenever I have it, no, now I feel kind of
Don't
bad.
have any ideas.
Because, well, no, now I feel bad because like if I have a really good idea and then it doesn't ding, I'm gonna feel really bad. I was like, okay, sorry, was that not a good enough idea for you?
Yeah, but I've seen some shit now, man.
I feel like this could be an episode of like Black Mirror or something.
Wasn't it?
It could be.
You are going deeper into the Black Mirror.
Well, now you're doing like a Twilight Zone kind of thing.
tomato.
So we started the movie. So we meet our protagonist, or like who is supposed to be our protagonist. I think who played him. You mentioned you knew what he was from.
Jeff.
It was John Hurd. John Hurd played this guy. He's like a photographer. I think he's some kind of journalist for some kind of publication, but he's not doing what he's supposed to. He keeps getting phone calls from this dude named Derek who keeps leaving him messages.
This made me so mad.
Yeah. So it goes to his answering machine, right? And Derek is on the other line trying to talk to him through his answering machine. And then our photographer dude, George, can't hear him, but he keeps responding to him. He says, okay, Derek. Yeah, Derek. Sure thing, Derek.
And you gotta validate me here.
Yeah.
He was saying it a lot, right?
He did say it a lot, but it made you way more upset than it made me.
It was because, well,
it's because it's your name.
It was my name, but also it was spelt the same way as my name, and we had subtitles on.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
You hated seeing your own.
it.
You're like, I'm right here. Shut up.
Shut up.
But yeah, so he apparently, like, Derek needs photos from him, but George, the photographer, is not, he's kind of off doing his own personal project, and he's not doing the work that he's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Talking about some kind of bag lady is what he called it.
He wanted pictures of Spider-Man.
Get me pictures of Spider-Man.
Get me pictures of the Spider-Man.
Is that you're the one who should do it. You're Derek.
I got the pictures of Spider-Man.
What happened to it? What happened to Jonah Jameson? This is Derek Damison, everybody.
Love me, Dak Damison.
Oh my gosh. So the dialogue is really dull. Everything is just laid out for you. Whenever they say something, they say everything at once. There's no, I don't know. I didn't write any very specific examples for it. I just really hated the way the dialogue was written.
It felt not written to be spoken by a human.
Yeah, exactly.
That
AI generated,
also,
but wrote by people.
Also did not be spoken by human what I said.
Yeah. But
the movie got to me.
We meet his I thought it was his girlfriend, but I guess it's his wife. I think they're actually married. She's a model.
I thought they were like engaged.
Something weird. But yeah, so they're a
But-
couple, period.
That is another thing we can address real quick.
Yeah.
That it's so obvious there were 3 writers on this movie.
Oh,
because
yeah.
like sometimes people's relationships would just change.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene later on with a little girl and a guy that she calls her grandpa,
And then
or her
uncle,
dad, or
and then
uncle.
dad. Yeah, it was not very consistent.
So this kind of felt like another one of those moments where at first I was like, oh, they're boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, it's client and photographer,
Yeah,
not
uh-huh.
related. And then I was like, married?
yeah,
or
it's strange. So
fiancé?
they are a couple. They're subletting a studio in this place and making it work as an apartment because, you know, it works for their photography kind of stuff. She's a model and they don't really have any other place to live. So they're living in some kind of complex up in the top in a studio, right? He photographs for her, right? Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how they met, I would assume.
I guess.
I didn't really care. I will be honest, they were my least favorite characters and probably most useless characters in the movie.
And arguably, this will be the most we talk about.
Their entire plot line could have been cut and the movie would not have changed at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then there's a lady from their complex who's walking down the street, and then there's a big like jump scare from a pile of cardboard. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It was a weird jump scare moment, but then there's like a bloody hole underneath all of the cardboard.
This lady was just walking towards it, and then like boxes like flew into the air.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's a bloody hole.
Never really went anywhere. So yeah, so we're at the police precinct now. The police precinct's kind of bad at their jobs. It's nothing new for an 80s horror movie. They're keeping some info under wraps though. They're getting a bunch of missing persons reports and they're not allowed to actually report them the way they should be reported. I don't know. There's something going on where like the captain, whose name is Bosch, Captain Bosch, he is trying to talk to his superior. He's like, no, man, don't do that. File it as a missing persons report. Don't try to call it a murder. Like keep this under wraps. Okay. And so it's like, all right, cool. So they've kidnapped what they're calling the bag lady, which I think is just some kind of bad term
It's
for the homeless lady.
Yeah, really rude way to.
I'm not sure, but
refer to
she's a homeless
woman.
lady, but she won't talk to them. She's acting like mute or something like that, right?
Yep.
So while that's happening, the couple is at a photo shoot, and the dude is a major asshole.
I hate him.
He's going off about how he doesn't like photographing her mostly nude for some perfume brand that probably smells like shit, and he's just like yelling
exact
loudly
words.
in the middle of this studio with like all these executives around him for this perfume brand. He's being just an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
like period. I really, really hated him.
And thus begins my favorite thing about this movie.
Yeah.
The extras.
oh my god.
So in like almost every scene, there are like 1 to 3 people standing in the background doing nothing.
just really trying to figure out what the hell to do.
They had no direction. They were like, okay, stand there. So during this entire scene.
Yeah, he's yelling at her about how this sucks and why he hates it, blah, blah. And then there's the doubles.
Yeah. And okay.
Just 2 people chilling in the background.
It wouldn't have bothered me at all if it hadn't been framed in such a way that on the left side of the screen, you had man talking on phone.
Yeah.
And on the right side of the screen, you had behind him 2 people staring at a clipboard. And that's it.
so strange to me.
Oh, it was so stupid.
But yeah, so he gets a phone call, I think, and this is a weird moment.
Oh,
And
I
maybe it's
hated
just
this.
because I'm young and I don't know anything about how like landlines worked. But he puts some
no.
weird device up to the phone and it rings some feedback to him.
Nothing about this was
Someone
real.
please tell me how this works. I don't understand what it does. But then it starts like playing messages from his phone to him. He's not at his apartment, so I don't know what they're doing. Or maybe they are at their studio apartment. I don't
Maybe.
know what's happening,
I don't know,
honestly.
man.
But I don't know if he hacked the phones. So anyway, but so he starts getting some messages on there. He gets a message from he hears one from a doctor's office about his wife, fiance, girlfriend, whatever she is, being like, "You need to call us. It's the doctor." Blah blah. But then the bag lady calls him from jail, and so now I'm really lost. I don't understand what's happening. But where's the monster in this movie? It's just these people that I care nothing about.
And constantly too.
Constantly too, yeah. But so it turns out the bag lady can speak. She just didn't want to talk to the cops, and so apparently she knows this photographer dude pretty well. Not really sure how that works, right? So then the police captain goes to talk to the homeless population about them reporting missing persons, because most of the missing persons reports are coming from them, right?
Yeah.
There's this dude who calls himself the Reverend.
Yeah, I liked him.
He's like kind of
AJ.
runs this like soup kitchen down like some underground area for the homeless people, right? He's actually really cool.
Yeah.
He's one of the like wet bandits from the Home Alone.
Yeah. One of those.
He's like
two
the
guys.
skinny one with the weird hair. The one that has more hair than the other one, I would say.
I mean, that's a great way to decipher which one is which.
But again, here's another example of like why the writing is so dull and just like laid out for you. He talks about the people that so apparently in his homeless population, he has people that are like they stay mostly above the ground, and then he has people that live underground. And he's literally his line says, "I got undergrounders here, people who live underground." It's like, well, yes, I could have assumed as much from the title of them, right?
Yes, you don't have to keep saying it.
But yeah, so they're like really pushing to tell us there's like a labyrinth of tunnels and sewers underground. Again, probably a setting for the monster, I would assume, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But so it is the undergrounders that are going missing. He makes this distinction because it's not all the homeless people upstairs, up top that are going missing. It is the undergrounders that are going missing. And that's the weird thing, right? There's also a weird moment where there's like one survivor of the undergrounders who like thinks he saw something. He's just a raving lunatic saying shit like they have the power to open the sky. Like he's crazy.
I love this guy.
He was so weird. When he meets them, he goes Gog and Magog, which is apparently some religious something that I know nothing about. But so the photographer and the bag lady meet each other. Apparently they're pals. He bailed her out of jail. Don't really understand. But as they're leaving the precinct, someone is like tailing them, keeping an eye on the two of them. She tried to steal a cop's gun for some reason, probably for the undergrounders, because when Captain Bosch was meeting the Reverend, he was talking about how like they need weapons because some shit's going on and they're missing now. But the bag lady escorts the photographer down into the underground. Don't really know why they're friends. I don't understand it. Maybe he needs her to help with his photo job, this like personal project that he's working on. I guess he's taken her photo beforehand, right? Sound good? Derek, you were hard at work on something over there. What the hell is going on?
Sorry.
Okay, you've been setting up for a bit for so long. What's up? Science Jim? Welcome back, Science Jim.
You could call me Real Estate Jim today. Because
Real Estate Jim? I don't know if I'm going to do that.
So Derek came to me, I was going to say yesterday, but 3 minutes ago when he wasn't paying attention. He was looking up if there was actually like underground cities in New York at any time, or if that was ever a thing.
Is this a real thing?
Was.
Really?
There are many, they call it subterranean New York City.
I actually heard about this recently for like Vegas. They've got like priests and shit. Like they've got a whole city down there. Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's kind of neat.
That's basically it. Science Jim faded away.
Reminds me of like in Futurama where they have like the underground where the mutants live.
Yeah. Or there's that movie As Above, So Below that takes place entirely underneath Paris. I don't think you ever saw that movie.
I didn't see it, but I hear good things about it.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is a thing. It's real.
It's real.
people be living under there.
Yeah, no, the sewers of New York are pretty wild though when they're down here. There's just like trash heaps and crazy gadgets. There's like a bunch of wild stuff down there, right? So the bag lady was getting a gun for this guy named Victor, which I think is her like husband or something like that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Victor definitely wants a gun to shoot the C.H.U.D. He's like laying down on a cot and he's damaged up. Well, what's up?
I'm pretty sure she calls him her brother too.
Oh my God.
This is another relationship.
I don't understand what their relationships. They don't really feel the need to like really dictate what each relationship is in this.
And at that point, just don't try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just don't.
Mm-hmm. So she takes him underground. He meets Victor, who's like laying down in the bed. He's been injured. And then some dude, Hugo. Hugo was his name. Also, their names were Victor and Hugo.
Oh, yes.
And
that's right.
Never makes sense.
It was just funny.
So what connection do these have to Victor Hugo stories at all?
Well, it's in the sewers.
There wasn't even anything about this in
Victor
trivia.
Hugo story takes place in the sewers. Think about it. It's true.
I mean, I feel like there are sewers involved
in Les Mis.
Okay,
the whole thing takes place in
That's
the sewer.
fair. But is there? Well, I guess like
and then
Hunchback,
the entire thing takes place in the sewer.
All of it.
Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, you're right. Notre Dame is in the sewers.
Victor Hugo didn't write Count of Monte Cristo.
I don't think so. I know two things he's done.
Crap, I can't retcon.
But anyway,
my voice.
so there's Victor and Hugo down there, but Victor is damaged up. He's got some bandages on his leg, and then George, the photographer, is like, "Let's take a look at this." And he's got a nasty chunk taken out of his leg. It looks good, like it looks bad, but good for that. Like it looks painful.
Sorry, Victor Hugo did not write the Count of Monte Cristo.
I assumed not.
I didn't think he did. I panicked.
Yeah. So clearly he has seen some shit. We assume the C.H.U.D has taken a big chunk out of his leg.
Ooh, it was. Ugh.
Yeah, we find out that so the Captain Bosch is really getting into the Reverend about like with these missing persons reports, and he's kind of onto him. He's like, dude, you don't give a shit about the homeless people there. Clearly there is some personal connection to all of this, right? And the captain confesses that his wife has gone missing as well as the undergrounders. Yeah. And she was actually the lady from the opening sequence that got taken in with her dog.
And the only reason we know that well, we learn later, but the only reason we know that now is because he does say that she was out for a walk with the dog.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the kind of connection there, which honestly was fine. I liked the connection. It worked for me.
No, I did too.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed the plot line of Reverend and Captain Bosch.
Me too.
The most out of any in the movie. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It feels like at a certain point, this movie gets kind of hard to keep track of because there are like 3 separate plot lines happening with like the photographer and his girlfriend. And then, well, I guess the photographer kind of goes off on his own after a while. And then the girlfriend has her own thing. And then Bosch and Reverend are doing their own thing. Like it gets kind of convoluted after a minute.
Yeah.
But while we're here with Bosch and the Reverend, they're talking about how there's apparently a routine inspection of the sewers that happens every year. And this year it's been going on for like 4 weeks when it usually only lasts like one. Like that's fishy.
Something's going on.
And the cop, the captain, he's not aware of that. He's like, I don't understand that, right? So it's like, yeah, sure, just show the captain your whole underground world, because then the Reverend takes him down below.
Yeah.
Which is smart, because then he starts showing him like all of the weird gadgets and gizmos he finds from like all these radioactive people that have been like checking out the scene. He's like, I know they're still down here. They're leaving their shit all over the place, right?
Reverend seems like a weird version of Cosmo Kramer from Seinfeld.
A bit.
Who just like goes down into the sewer. He's like if Charlie from
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia
and Kramer had a baby.
Yep.
Because he's like going downstairs and like collects things from the basements. Yeah. And so he finds all this weird stuff that was left behind by these like probes or whatever.
Yeah, so he finds like Geiger counter and like a little radioactive it's another sensor thing that he wears on his suit, and then not his suit. He's a homeless guy. And then they find like a big like space looking boot from clearly what is like a hazmat suit, I would assume.
It took me a while to realize what this was. I genuinely thought it was a cast.
Yeah.
When he pulled it out, I thought someone had broke their leg, and he's like, "Look, I found their cast."
Looks kind of funny, right? But yeah, it was enough evidence to be like, okay, so clearly there is something down there. And then while they're also while they're down there, when they pick up the Geiger counter, it goes like to the highest it can, like it freaks out and then it calms down afterwards. So that's when
I was meaning something walked past.
That's when Captain Bosch gets on board with Reverend. He's like, okay, maybe you're not a crazy person, right? And then they hear the C.H.U.D too, and it's got a nasty roar. It's pretty good.
Do it.
Roar.
Do the roar.
Roar.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, nice. So I did the roar. Meanwhile, photographer's girlfriend is pregnant.
What?
Photographer's girlfriend pregnant. So this is the only scene where I actually kind of like the photographer dude, because they're discussing whether or not to go through with the alternative, is what they keep calling it. They don't want to say like abortion, so they just keep saying, they just keep talking around it, right? It's
so weird.
But I was actually really shocked that he's like letting her have autonomy of her own body and telling her it's her choice, and that's the only cool thing he's done so far.
Which is great to hear from a movie from the 80s. Yep. You know what I mean?
So anyway, I literally did not even need to mention that, because that never, ever comes up again.
Oh my God, you're right.
It's never relevant. I think it's just to make you like them, I think.
Yeah, they got halfway through the movie and they're like, wait a minute.
You have to care about this woman. She has a baby. Oh, that's it. That's literally all that
is literally it, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, to a more interesting scene, there's another scene at night. There's we mentioned the guy and like the little girl.
Oh, yeah.
Relationship unknown. Uncle, grandfather, dad, something like that.
Brother, cousin, sister.
Whatever you want. So then a manhole cover from in the middle of the street is lifting up again. Like, all right, cool. Let's see some monster.
It was definitely the same one as the beginning.
Yeah, it looked like either the same shot or a very similar shot. But I was like, yes, cool. Claws lifting out of the ground. You know C.H.U.D is strong. C.H.U.D is strong because those things weigh a lot. That is something that my dad mentions a lot, because I think my dad's done a lot of weird, odd jobs. And I think at some point he's had to lift up a man cover. Okay. I did the research. Those things weigh like 250 pounds.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Those things are not. So like every time, now listener, every time you watch an action movie, they're like, let's just lift this sewer grate. They can't. There's no way.
There's like half the time people like do it daintily with their little fingers.
It can't happen. Those things are so heavy for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So C.H.U.D is strong because he's lifting like a 250-pound thing, just like
with no
lifting
problem.
His little weight. I guess that's also how you know the Ninja Turtles are fucking strong as hell.
Well, I mean, they're ripped.
Yeah, Ninja Turtle. Turtle power.
Guess you could say they're shredded.
They're shredded. Oh no, it's Shredder.
Like Shredder.
And then it's actually just Shredder, but he's like ripped his sleeves off and he's just like doing those like power muscle poses like he's at a competition.
Shredder, you're so cool.
Oh, Shredder, you're so jacked. No, that's my cousin, Jacker. Oh no, wait.
Oh, my cousin Jacker.
He's in prison for reasons I can't explain.
That's pretty terrible. That's pretty bad.
That was awful. That was
pretty bad.
horrible.
Do you think
Yes.
if I only ate pizza
Uh-huh.
with mayonnaise for the rest of my life?
Why are you saying these words?
That's what the Ninja Turtles eat.
Is that true?
Yeah, look it up.
What?
Ninja Turtles only eat pizza and mayonnaise. That's
I hate
it.
that. I hate that so much.
You never watched Ninja Turtles?
I guess not. I thought I had.
Do you think I'll get
my
ripped?
childhood?
Is my point.
Do you think you'll get ripped?
Yeah.
We should try it.
Okay.
We'll come back to you next week after our diet of exclusively pizza and mayonnaise.
Wait, let me come back from the future real quick.
Okay.
I can't do the podcast anymore. I think
Oh, you got a tummy ache.
All I've eaten is mayonnaise and pizza.
Oh, Derek got a tummy ache. What did you do? Like, did you dip? Well, okay, now this is important. Did you slather the mayo onto the pizza, or did you like dip pizza into mayo like ranch?
Well, you see, when you were only eating pizza and mayonnaise for an
You
entire
just
week,
blended them together, didn't you?
one time. Well, because you get bored.
Yeah, you
So
kind of have to find new
mix
ways
things
to
up.
make it.
I spread it.
Uh-huh.
I blended up. I made mayonnaise out of pizza one time.
I don't even understand the science behind that.
It's
You must have
fine.
had Science Jim to help you with that one.
No, he's sick too.
Oh, wait, did he eat it?
Yeah.
Derek, who have you poisoned in the future?
I think everyone.
Is all of society sick now because of the pizza
but
mayonnaise?
look at my muscles.
Okay. I'll be real with you, listener. He looks fucking shredded right now. He looks
But I
jacked.
don't feel so good.
He doesn't feel good, but he looks ripped. So
Okay.
now we know it works.
Well, mayonnaise and pizza for dinner.
Hey.
Tonight we're eating healthy and we're doing avocado mayo
Wow.
and a cauliflower crust pizza.
All right. Well, look, your super future van is here now. Bye.
Okay.
Go on your way.
Dude, I'm not doing that diet. That looked terrible.
That sounds terrible.
But he looked ripped.
But he looks like sad, like he was depressed.
Yeah, but like ripped.
I like the but it's like, can muscles buy
Like-
happiness?
I mean, but like his pecs were replaced with like
His
I mean,
pecs,
His boobs
were impeccable.
okay. All right, this bit's over.
Anyway, so to go back to what was actually happening, Chud's coming up out of the sewer, right? And unfortunately, another quick kill from Mr. Chud. We see a lot of face in the cut. Like the dad, uncle, father, whatever you want to do,
Grandpa.
dad, uncle, grandpa is in a phone booth talking, and Chud comes up to the glass of the payphone. You get a really good shot of the face, and then he's just
looks
dead.
really cool.
Yeah, and then the girl he was
He just
with,
gets dragged off.
she just kind of stares there dumbfounded. Like she didn't scream, didn't like
Yeah.
nothing. She just kind of stares blankly as the phone is swinging next to her.
I'm wondering if this is one of those moments where they were trying not to traumatize the little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So the kid wasn't there for the kill at all. And then they were just like, okay, stand in this corner, little girl.
Yeah, it's another
You'll get
one
your
of those.
popsicle.
Mhm. I mean, probably
Maybe they
could
were
be. I
giving
don't
your
think I remember
pizza
seeing a
mayonnaise.
shot where the two of them were in the same thing. So it could
Yeah.
have been in an effort to protect the little girl's
Which,
sanity.
all for that. You know,
Honestly,
don't
though.
traumatize kids.
I'm about it. I'm
kids.
about it. Speaking of kids, actually, MGMT has a music video for their song "Kids." You ever seen that one where they have like crazy
Yeah.
monsters
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff?
freaky.
Yeah, it's super freaky. Apparently, the baby in that was not afraid of those things. They had to They had to use something off camera to make it cry because it actually really liked the monsters.
That's hilarious.
Which, like, that's gonna be my child, absolutely.
Absolutely, 100%.
So anyway, Captain and the Reverend are going to reveal that there's a big cover up with their sewer evidence. They go to the photographer's apartment. They find pictures that he took of Victor's leg that was all chewed up. And so they
break in.
They're doing they break in. Like I think Reverend uses a knife that he has in his pocket to open the door. Which, in all honesty, just the way his character has been, I'd buy it. He probably has
100%.
the skills to do something like that.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. So they're going to a meeting to discuss the cover up on the missing persons and such. So they got like Captain Bosch's boss and his boss, and then the guy who's in charge of the radioactive cover up sweep, whatever they're doing, kind of thing. They're all there in a meeting, right? Unfortunately, I don't think that their evidence is enough at the point. Like they kind of they're kind of like, okay, so you found random shit in the sewers, good for you. Like no big deal, right? And they believe that they're murders, not just disappearances. But then as the Reverend is about to go away, he's like, oh yeah, I guess you don't want to see these pictures. I
These
guess I'll just go
cool
straight to the
pictures."
tabloids about these pictures of this dude who got bit by a monster.
And then he's kind of an idiot. He just hands them the pictures.
He just gives it straight to them, which he does not have copies of.
No.
Yeah.
He's so dumb. And it doesn't like nothing bad happens from this. He just gets the pictures back after they look at him.
Yeah.
But still.
So it's kind of going to go back and forth here because now we're at the photographer couple with the model and stuff. They're at like a picnic at the park, and then this dude who has been irrelevant the entire name but keeps showing up in many scenes named Murph is suddenly kind of relevant. Like, do you remember him at all? He
I'm trying.
basically
Oh,
comes up.
the reporter.
The
guy?
reporter, yeah. So he comes up to George. He's like, "Hey, you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. I'm basically a reporter. And yesterday you had a cop tailing you because they're onto you. You should probably look into that, right?" He basically just wants a scoop on the story. He's like, "I know you've been talking to the people underground. I want to know what's going on."
Is this where you see him getting tailed? Or
It
is that
was
before?
earlier.
So we need to talk about that.
Okay.
Because so when they're leaving the place with like the meeting with all of the
Oh no, that
executives-
hasn't happened yet.
that hasn't happened yet.
No,
Like,
is that
your
what you
finger?
wanted- you wanna
That's what
talk
I was
about
gonna-
the quarter
I
thing?
wanted to talk about the quarter.
We'll talk about the quarter thing for sure when that
forget
comes
it.
up.
Just interrupted.
It's about to happen though, but basically, so yeah, Murph is talking to him. He's like, "I want to know what's going on underground." He wants the story, right? Meanwhile, back at the meeting, they're suddenly a little more willing to share some information,
right.
and now they're talking to him about how like why there's like they're sharing some info about why there's radiation in the sewers and that they actually do know about it. And he's the man in charge of the radiation thing is not necessarily denying the existence of a monster, but he's not like accepting it either.
Yeah.
And so they actually have a file called C.H.U.D and it's classified. And so they tell them it stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dweller. And apparently 2 gas station attendants found one. So like they get a call on the phone. They're like, "Oh, cool, awesome. The C.H.U.D is dead. Let's go." So yeah, it is at this point, yes, that Reverend storms out of the meeting. He's not having it anymore. He just wants to go straight to the news publications and be like, I'm gonna bust this thing wide open. You can't stop me. So then the dude, I think his name is Wilson, the guy who's in charge of the radiation project, all that
Something
kind of
like that.
whatever. He calls on the phone. He's like, "Hey, he just left. He's got long hair. Go get him," right? So Reverend goes up to a phone, and then you tell, because this is such a great moment. And I don't understand it.
So Reverend's on the phone. He's like making a phone call, and all of a sudden, this guy, just this normal ass dude, walks up. He's wearing sunglasses. He hits click on the phone to stop it from ringing. He takes the quarter out of the box, puts it in his mouth, swallows it, smiles,
And just smiles and stares at him like, "Yeah, you know why I'm here. I'm gonna stop you. Why the fuck
did you eat the quarter?
Why the fuck did you need to eat the quarter?
no part of you needed that in you.
And why did you like it?
Why did you enjoy it?
Why was that a good thing?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I have a theory.
Give me your theory. Is he some kind of government creation that is made to eat metal or something?
Well, I was gonna just say he was a robot. And,
Okay.
and he's like a money operated
and
robot.
robots eat quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coin slot is like in the throat.
Yeah, it's in his throat.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he needed it to survive.
Oh my god.
And if he doesn't, then he'll stop and he'll just die.
Yeah, exactly. He'll just
So word to the wise: don't carry quarters with
if
you.
a man asks to eat your quarters, you should probably let him.
Probably.
'Cause he's probably a cyborg.
You should let him.
The more you know.
That you should let him.
Yeah, you should.
Wait, but what if you don't want to let him?
Robots are people too.
People are robots too.
Could be.
I have met more people that are robots than I've met robots that are human.
That's simply not true. And speaking of things that were once human, there's indication that Chuds were once human. And apparently there's more than one of them.
There's a lot.
Which actually kind of digs. So it's not just one creature messing shit up in the sewers. It's actually a couple of them.
Yeah, I like this a lot too.
So yeah, they indicated that they have the same rags that like some of the homeless people would wear, right? So it's like, okay, so Chuds are basically what we can assume is like they were turned from humans into Chud creatures from the radiation down in the sewers, right?
Yep.
That they're trying to cover up, right? There was actually a cool shot showing the Chud in the reflection of someone's hazmat suit.
Oh, I like
they have
this
like
a lot.
this plexiglass like face covering, right? And so they're there investigating the dead body of the Chud that they found. And yeah, you see like it shows the face and then the camera what am I trying to say? The camera focus changes so it focuses on the glass of his mask and it shows the Chud in it. Really cool. I actually
It was a
liked
really
that.
cool attempt at monster delay to avoid showing you the creature on the table.
Yes.
Like
And
I
you
liked
mentioned
this.
you mentioned you were worried they were going to show too much.
I was because I didn't want to see a dead one of these creatures before I had seen a full live one.
That's true. That would have been upsetting.
It would have been kind of lame, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had that like, oh well, now I know these things can die.
Like I want to see this thing in action.
Yeah,
Let's go.
absolutely.
Give me a full movie.
Right now, all
Chud.
I've seen is its eyes and its hand.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to see any more.
Not a ton to go off of there. So, but they're convinced there's only, well, by they, I mean Wilson, the guy trying to cover everything up. He's like, I'm sure there's only one. There's no problems here whatsoever. And then Bosch is unconvinced. So they send some cops into the sewer with flamethrowers to check out if there's actually more down there or not. And the scene was actually kind of neat. It reminded me of like the scene in Alien when they're all like geared up and looking like hunting for the xenomorph.
I thought it was funny though how like all of their flamethrowers looked like they were made from like 3000s, like they're from the future.
Some kind of futuristic flamethrower. I'm like, dude, it's the 80s. Why are you trying to future this up? We're down in the sewers.
Just give them the like weird box metal
But yeah,
flamethrowers.
so lo and behold, while they're down there, they try to they find some like spikes in radiation, and then they just start shooting flames and stuff, and then the camera feed cuts out because Bosch and Wilson are watching it through some kind of camera feed safely far away from where they are, right? But yeah, so unfortunately, we get like maybe a silhouette of the creature, but you know, it's undeniable truth though. So now everyone that was in that meeting beforehand, who was not really into telling the public about it, is now like, hey, we should probably start telling people that there's monsters down in the sewers because this seems like it might actually be a problem.
Let's start telling people to leave.
And so their idea is that they're going to seal off the tunnels and just pump them full of gas to kill the chuds. I'm like, there is no way that you could do that safely. Like, I'm sure civilians will be fine, right? That's what they assume. And the undergrounders will make it out too, right?
Well, not if you seal it off.
Exactly,
idiots.
right? They're literally locking everybody down there and just going to pump it full of gas. It's very weird.
How are they?
I did like how they
gas
I did like how they showed the gas going out though, because remember it was in the soup kitchen. Reverend was heating something up on like
I love this.
the propane thing, right? And then that gas stove, I guess it's not propane, it's gas.
It's gas.
It's gas.
I mean, propane is gas. Tomato.
I sell propane and propane accessories.
Is that your Hank Hill?
A little bit. It is. Bobby. It's nothing. This is terrible. We are not on this podcast to do our bad impressions.
Are we not?
So the gas stove stopped functioning. So I liked that's how they show, oh, cool, the gas line has been messed up, right? And then the Reverend is going to go to the undergrounders and be like, hey, guys, you need to get out of here. But then they lock him down in there. So now Reverend is trapped underground when they're going to start pumping it full of gas. Yeah.
Oh, it's just me, Science Jim.
Science Jim, this is like your third appearance this episode.
Just
What's
real
up?
quick, just want to clarify something. I've changed my accent because it's my third time coming in. Natural gas comes from pipelines. Propane comes from your store. But they're the same thing.
Okay.
They're both odorless, colorless, clean-burning fossil fuels.
Right.
Propane is definitely more energy efficient and considered to be green fuel, while natural gas is not. So they're not actually the same thing at all.
Interesting.
I lied at the beginning of this, but listen to me now.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye.
You've grown wiser. Okay. So I honestly, at this point, I was like, I hope this movie starts to pick up from here. We are a decent amount of the way in, and I'm still not seeing a lot of monster action going on.
So I don't know about you. We haven't talked about this at all.
Yeah.
This is our first time. I wasn't bored.
I wasn't bored either. I just wanted more monster.
But
and I think that's because I'm the one who picked this movie, and I picked it for the creature. And I think that's probably why I had more
And you
of a
didn't
problem
want
with
another
it.
Boogans situation, I'm
The
sure.
Boogans was disappointing, and I
Yes.
really didn't want a Boogans.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, head back over to whatever episode.
Head
number
back
that
over to
was.
episode something. Insert episode number here.
I'm not going to do that. I don't know which episode it was. Anyway, no, my point is I was surprised because there really wasn't a lot happening.
No. I wasn't bored either.
But I loved what was going on with Reverend and Bosch.
Reverend and Bosch were the saving grace of this movie, 100%.
Well, and this guy, he's like searching for his wife, and Reverend like cares about all these homeless people.
Yeah, they were actually good people.
They had good motivations for everything they were doing.
Because Bosch was the one who was like, hey, my superior, whatever your status is, like, we should probably be doing something about this. He's like, no, keep it covered up. He's like, but this sucks, man.
This is bad.
And then, Reverend just straight up just wanted to take care of his people. Like, he wanted nothing more than that. He's like, I'm not trying to take advantage of anything. Just like, keep my people safe, please. You're the police.
He was like modern day, what's his name? Not Mozart, Moses.
Moses. He parted the poopsies.
Ew.
'Cause he's in the sewers. Sorry, that was gross. I regret that joke.
You could have made like he parted the soup.
The soup? Oh, okay.
Because he's like
That's
a soup
fair.
kitchen
That's
guy.
better. So anyway, the useless
remember-
character Murphy, who was a reporter or something, he dies. He's down in the tunnels with George for some reason. I can't remember why they're down there.
I don't even know.
Just to get more of a scoop on the
I kind of wrote a
the
note
story.
about it. It was just basically, he was trying to get the story.
So he's looking down a big circular tunnel, gets nabbed by a CHUD and dies, basically. Simple as that, right? And then while George, I think Reverend is searching around in the sewers. He finds like a little community of CHUDs underground. There were like 3 or 4 of them in
like
the
a
shot.
little cult activity.
There were a couple of them, but this is where it seems like my expectation did reign true. It seems like the CHUD design really stops at the hands and the head.
Yeah,
because
they kind of have an arm thing.
Yeah, it goes up to like maybe the elbow length, but other than that, they were just wearing clothes, which kind of does make sense because they are just people turned into CHUDs. Which also you mentioned was kind of an interesting thing because they are called cannibal humanoid underground dwellers, right? So we were talking about how like we weren't sure if Bosch's wife was dead because we're like, okay, so there's a lot of them down here. Is it the radiation turning them? Is there some kind of werewolf thing that can turn? But it doesn't seem like they're eating each other. So are they cannibals? It doesn't seem like it.
I spent a while discussing kind of with myself
Uh-huh.
about like the name cannibal, right?
Yes,
Because to be a cannibal, I looked it up.
You have to eat your own
you have to eat
species.
your own species.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not necessarily just someone who eats human flesh.
Right.
So
That'd just be a human that eats human.
I was like, okay, well, so these would have to be human.
But yeah,
It's
like,
right there in the name.
C.H.U.D does not eat C.H.U.D, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
No, it's
Yeah.
kind of weird. That's what I was
Unless
thinking.
they do.
But yeah, so it seems like they really are Ninja Turtles. They were transformed by radiation down there. And speaking of Captain Bosch's wife, we got a fucked up scene.
This is the worst scene in the movie.
Where they're walking around like the riverbank and they're just like, oh shit, she's dead. And they find her decapitated head on the waterbank.
And it was a jump scare in the sense that someone just yelled, "Oh my God, it's his wife!" And then it flashed into her face.
And the prosthetic looked good.
It looked very real.
To this point, the prosthetics of the gore has not faltered. It looks
No, it
good. And
looks
that decapitated head was one of the best parts.
Yeah, for sure. And then he gets fucked up.
Yeah, he goes to, I mean, he's not obviously having a pretty
I
bad
would.
time. He goes to
Yeah.
the bar and his cop friends are like, come on, man, let's take you home. He's like, dude, let him drown his sorrows
Just
in
let
the
him.
booze, please.
He just saw his decapitated wife's
Yeah,
head.
not only has his wife been missing, he saw her goddamn head chilling
Yeah.
there. So it is clear, I guess they are not turning people into chuds. They are just killing them.
They're just killing him.
And yeah, he's not taking it well. So yeah.
And then, so while all this is happening, we're back. It keeps flashing back and forth between the pregnant wife at the house.
This is where it starts to get kind of hard to keep track of things because so many scenes are happening at once, and this
Yeah.
movie does a horrible job at deciding when to break from which
Yes.
scenes and go to the other ones, right?
Yes.
I wrote a long note somewhere about like it keeps ruining its own tension that it creates.
Yes, it really does.
But we'll get there.
So she's like wandering around. There's like noises happening in the house.
Yeah, you can see there's a chud coming up through the basement of their complex.
Yeah.
There's like a big trap door down there for some reason.
So she climbs down the trap door. She's like looking for something. It's
Yeah.
not very clear what she's doing. But she goes down there and you see the dog from the beginning hanging there dead.
And it's pretty convincing.
It was a convincing prosthetic.
Usually I say in the 80s when they kill
talked
dogs
about
like
it.
this, it's like it's not okay. It's pretty fucked always, but it's like it's more like palatable in those movies because it looks so bad. It doesn't make you feel as bad, right? This one did not look bad,
No,
unfortunately.
And I mean, you can think way back when we watched Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Yeah.
There's that whole sequence with the like all of those stuffed animals that
Yes.
they're trying to make you think are
it
real.
was funny because it looks really bad.
Yeah, and this one was the complete opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
That was episode 2, by the way. Chekhov's Buns of Steel.
what was the episode? What was the one we were talking about?
I would have to remember what the weird name. I think it was Quasimodo's daughter. Yeah, it's number 7.
number
Quasimodo's
7.
daughter.
Okay.
That's the Boogans, if you were curious about
That's
that.
the Boogans.
It was kind of a disappointment. And this movie, thus far, is not as much of a disappointment.
Yes. But then she goes upstairs and she's taking a shower
Yep.
because she wants to wash this. She wants to wash that dog right out of her hair.
And the drain is starting to bubble suspiciously.
Yeah, and so she's like, okay, I'm gonna pull all this hair out of the drain.
Yeah, she's pretty quick thinking too. The drain gets clogged, and so she like takes a hanger, like a metal hanger, just next to her in the shower or in the bathroom, and then turns it into like this big hook to unclog the drain.
Yeah.
It was pretty smart. And then what happens, Derek?
So she starts pulling at it, and then she just gets sprayed in the face by a ton of blood.
Just a ton of blood just
So much
shoots out
blood.
at her. It's kind of wild.
It's disgusting. It makes no sense.
And then we just go on to the next scene with
Yep.
some calm techno music underneath it, like that never happened.
Yep.
And that's another moment where it's like it just cuts its own tension. Like that was a cool
Yeah.
scene. I liked that.
and it cuts from that to the diner.
Yeah, to a
Like-
very boring scene where it's like, I mean, it's just the cop who's at the bar, sad about his wife being
Yeah.
dead, right? It's like, why?
No, and then it cuts to the diner where those two
the
cops
diner.
walk in. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, there's just a blaring pacing problem going on in this movie. There's
With
like
random
three,
scenes.
3 plots going on, and they don't know how to properly bounce between them. But John Goodman is here?
Why is John Goodman here?
Why is John Goodman
Why is
here?
there a John Goodman here?
But he's kind of being a John Badman, though,
Yeah,
because
he
he's
was
kind
not a
of
good
like,
man.
he's one of the cops being kind of sexist, objectifying the waitress with his cop buddy. Like, they're being kind of shitty about
I
it.
didn't like it.
But then Chud's in the city. They
Chud's
start
in the
coming up.
city.
They start coming up through the sewer grates, and they're breaking down the windows of the diner. They're fucking things up. It's kind of great.
yeah, but again, I would have loved to see more of this.
Again, it's like you guys are building tension. That's awesome, cool. John Goodman is here. I don't understand why he's here, but now
But I want to watch him die.
there's like 3 or 4 chuds breaking down windows.
Yeah.
You see them; they look really cool. They're busting through, getting into the diner, and then it just cuts back to the lady who had the blood shower, and she's fine. She's fine. Don't mention it. Derek, I swear, Derek, I swear to God, Derek, if there's he mentioned a fly, and now it's in here. There's a fly.
Oh my God.
Where is it? Where? Back. Get.
Okay, so what just happened is we can't make this shit up. A fly just came and landed right on Isaac's head.
If you're a fly, you ain't safe with Crescenti around. I'll
All right.
get you.
You don't need any more Crescenti in our
Hey,
life.
don't get.
No, don't leave. No.
There's a fly.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's me, the fly's great cousin.
You don't understand.
I've been killed
Flies
so many
taunting my
times.
family for
Oh, here I
There he
am!
is.
I'm right above you. Here I go.
I hate you. I
No,
hate
please
you.
don't.
I hate
smack
you.
at me. Okay, sit down. We got a podcast.
We have to do a podcast. Crescenti's got to get out of here. There is a fly though, and it sucks.
Yeah, we didn't make that up.
So anyway, Chud's in the city, tearing up the diner, and then we go back to the lady who had the blood shower, and she seemingly does not give a shit that just happened.
Yeah, no.
Like, it doesn't bother her at all. She seems totally normal, right?
She's cool.
So yeah, so it cuts back to her for a moment. It seems like the Chud from the basement is kind of making its way up to her floor, which I think
Yeah.
is like the top floor of the building. And then we go back to the diner, and it's just a bloody mess.
Yeah, and we hear some people talking on the radio, like the police are there and stuff. There are no bodies.
Yeah,
and just a ton of blood.
gruesome. I'm like, John Goodman was in there. No,
John Deadman.
John Deadman. Oh
Aw.
no! But I wish we could have seen any of that scene instead of cutting away from it for no reason. It's so sad.
Yeah.
But so now the situation is getting a little bit out of hand, right? So they're putting explosive cars over the manhole covers.
Okay, so why though?
I think that's just because if a Chud tries to come up from underground, it will explode.
Yeah, but okay.
It's a terrible idea.
There's
also, they're
so much
pumping the
collateral
sewers
damage.
full of gas.
That's
if you-
that shit's gonna explode.
If you pump the entire sewers full of gas and then blow something
flammable
up,
gas,
everything is going to explode.
you're going to destroy New York City.
It is just a stupid idea.
Ugh, very upsetting.
So we find out that it seems like people actually can be turned into a Chud, kind of like a werewolf, because George is down in the sewers and he finds Victor.
Yep.
The guy who had the chunk taken out of his leg earlier. And again, some gnarly gore with all the people that are down there. Like, people have been kind of torn up down here.
Yeah, there's like bodies just laying
Still
around.
looks really good to me.
Yeah, that's great.
So it seems like people can be turned into a Chud because now Victor is like a Chudite. He's a Chudite because he's got like these yellowy eyes and he starts trying to attack. He tries to attack him and then he shoots him with a gun that he took off of Murphy, who died earlier.
Yep.
Sorry, you just look like you had something to say.
No, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Sorry, the fly keeps fucking with me.
The Reverend and the Reverend and the photographer are now down in the sewers together. They can join forces, and I'm like, God damn it! Yes, about time they start simplifying these plot lines.
Yes,
just get
please.
these people together, please. So they keep throwing away the tension for anything they build in the scene. Every kill is too quick, and any intense scene is cut away from to go to some other random plot line. I kind of hate it because we keep getting little snippets of the pregnant model wife in the apartment, right?
Yeah.
And the Chud that is like slowly trying to break down doors to get to her.
Yeah, so let's just separate these out.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll finish with the one of them in the basement.
Yes.
So we'll go right now to the pregnant lady.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there was one really interesting thing that happened down in the sewers, though.
Okay. Go.
Because they
Are you
find
going
out
to the contamination.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to go there?
Yeah.
So they find out actually Chud does not stand for cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
loved this.
This is actually an incredible plot point that I was not expecting from the writing of this movie. So it actually stands for contamination hazard urban disposal. That's what Chud actually is. So the NRC is actually dumping their radioactive poison here in the sewers where they didn't think it would affect anyone, or they just didn't care that it would affect the people down here, right? So yeah, they find a lot of dead bodies down there.
Yes, they do. And this was never clarified or anything. I just think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie, Reverend talks about how 12 people went missing, like all at once. I'm pretty sure those became the original Chuds.
Yeah, had to be.
Because it would just make sense.
Yeah, but so it seems like originally the radiation is what made a Chud, the creature, and then they can turn other people into it, it seems like. Sometimes they decapitate them, sometimes they just, they turn them.
Yeah.
I guess it's if you can escape. I think that's actually how it works. If you can survive an interaction with Chud and it takes a chunk out of you, then you're likely to turn.
You earned its respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may join us.
Chud looks at you and says, I respect you.
Thank you. That bite was really cool. I bet I could do one on someone else.
So they actually find the scene of the crime where the flamethrower cops died, and they find a headset and a camera to try to talk to whoever was monitoring it up top, and they find another decapitated head. There were a couple decapitated heads in this movie.
They all look good.
Also, looks pretty great. I really like it. The gore effects have not disappointed at any point in this movie. I really love it. And then they get word to Bosch, who was upstairs, about like, hey, we're down to the sewers. You need to get us out of here, right? Okay, so let's go back to the lady in the building, right? The Chuds have eyes that glow, which really works for me.
It's
I
very
liked it
cool.
a lot.
Yeah,
it's
they're
kind of got like a
like
fishy
bulbous
effect.
fish eyes.
Yeah. I really liked it. The design of the Chud actually reminds me of that one episode of Goosebumps where the masks take over.
Oh my God, I haven't
Just
thought about that in
generally
years.
in design, they kind of look similar, but also
Yeah.
just like in concept, just the way they looked reminded me of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, finally we get to see how the apartment encounter takes place because we were not getting a lot. And I was not expecting a Chekhov sword moment.
No, me neither.
Because earlier we get a couple shots of the apartment and the dude has got like a bunch of weird like samurai swords up on his wall. Like, okay, cool. You're really building his strong character that I don't like.
For sure.
But the lady in there takes one of the swords off of the walls to fight the Chud. And this is a weird moment for Chud for me. Its neck stretches out and gets really long.
I don't really know what was going on here.
I liked the effect. Don't get me wrong. I don't understand why it did that because it just made its neck. It just made itself easier to chop in the neck, right? It's just like give you more real estate.
It
to
stretched
cut.
out like a turtle.
Yeah. Our Chuds. Oh my God, they are Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
You're right. They're
There it
mutants.
is.
Yep. Exactly. TMNT C.H.U.D. The collaboration nobody thought we needed.
Okay, can I've been trying to say something the entire episode.
Give it to me.
Can
What's up?
Can I be upset about something?
Let's get it.
Cannibalistic, humanoid, underground dwellers.
Yeah.
Cybernetic. Wait, no. What was the other one?
Oh my God.
no. What was the other one? Contaminated hazard for urban disposal.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
The thing I was upset about is that they ignored ground.
Underground is one word.
I know, but I wanted a ground to be another letter. Chugged. I think this movie would have been better if they just called it chugged.
You've chugged your last chugged.
Yeah.
You chugged your last chud? I don't know. That's
I don't
nothing.
know. I was thinking it was contaminated hazard for underground disposal instead of urban disposal.
I get you.
Which is why I was going to be upset.
I'm with you now.
It's chugged for
But
me.
so the Chud elongates its neck for some weird reason. It was a fun effect. I just don't know why it did it. It didn't
Yeah, I
seem
don't
to
either.
help it at all. But then she chops its head off, and there's this like glowing green blood. It was beautiful. Loved the green blood.
green tear to
Wish
Isaac's
we had
eye.
more of it. Again, another decapitated head. But the decapitated head bites the model as it's like rolling around on the ground.
Yeah.
Which again
Shouldn't she get
doesn't
turned,
ever get resolved.
or-
Much like more that you'll find out. We're nearing the end of the movie here, and nothing gets fixed. So the Reverend and the photographer are trying to escape from under a manhole because Bosch told them to move their car that was sitting on. He told them he was going to move the car that was sitting on top of the manhole cover, right? And there's a Chud like hot on their trail. They're climbing the ladder to get up to the top, and they're waiting for Bosch to get there. And then he moves it. That's fine. But then Wilson comes up,
NRC guy.
yeah, and he shoots them. He shoots Bosch and kills him. It's like, oh shit.
He just out of nowhere just pops up.
Didn't
Bang,
think
bang.
he was capable of that, but he did.
Yeah.
Because there was a scene earlier where Wilson and Bosch are kind of talking with each other, and Bosch is like, fuck you, and he like just gives him one square, wow, pow, kiss her to the face. It was great shot. So in return, he shoots him dead.
right in the head. I'm not in the head. right in the chest.
So then Reverend and George make it out of the sewers, and then Wilson tries to run over them with the car, which is
Yeah.
also hooked up with explosives, mind you.
yeah, he just like goes crazy.
He's kind of lost his mind a little bit. But then Reverend shoots him dead. He gets a good shot, like right through. It's a really good shot, like right through the glass. You see it like square in the center. It looks really good. I like that a lot. So then he shoots him as he's driving towards them. And then the car, one of the wheels kind of bumps into the manhole that's still there.
Yep.
And it blows up.
Big old explosion.
Crazy
And I
fashion.
give this explosion out of explosion.
Explosion out of explosion. That's a
Because-
guaranteed explosion from Derek Wayman.
It looked really good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think
That's
it looks
where
really
the
good.
entire budget went.
Because it probably was just a real. I mean, like they explode cars, no problem. It's
Oh,
no
yeah,
big
yeah,
deal,
yeah.
right? It's not like you're exploding a cornfield in Children of the Corn, you know.
don't talk about that with me.
Well, yeah, I won't bring that up. But also, again, I brought up like if the sewers are full of gas, wouldn't it all explode with this fiery car on top of that manhole?
I mean,
Doesn't
you would
understand. But then. That's just the end of the movie. They all just like try to walk home after this. What has been resolved? The movie can't end there.
Nothing.
There's still a ton of chuds down in the basement. The radiation problem hasn't been solved. The pregnant wife got bit by something. Like nothing has been solved here. They just blew something up and they're like, all right, time to walk away from the explosion into the sunset. And that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. So I just did some quick looking up.
A lot on the research today.
I am so sorry.
We gotta take away your internet rights.
No, it's just like there was a lot of things to look up today. Yeah, that would have definitely caused an explosion
Absolutely,
because there's a ton of fire going down, mixing with all the air and gas, which is the two things that need to explode.
Yes, exactly, right? So that was C.H.U.D. I'm angry about the way it ended because literally nothing was solved.
Yep.
They fixed nothing. They blew up a car.
Yep. And in C.H.U.D, you had one jump scare, but there was a part where a guy walked around a corner and it made me jump really loud.
Oh my God, yeah. Derek
I don't even remember why.
I was judging you because I was like, that's a stupid reason to jump. A dude just walked around a corner and Derek was like, Jesus.
It shocked me. Yeah, that counts as jump scares. So
That was it.
2 jump scares.
That was pretty funny. Should we talk about our...
Well, there was 15 deaths.
15 deaths.
15 deaths. in
That's
this
that.
movie.
Honestly, that's the first time you said that. I'm like, yeah, that tracks. That sounds
it
right. I
checks
feel like I saw 15 deaths in this movie. So expectation results.
Yeah, dude.
So for me, I said cult classic. I think so, and I don't know. I wrote that I'm gonna say I was wrong on that one, but looking back on it, maybe it could be kind of considered a cult classic. I feel like it kind of fits in there. Yeah,
I think definitely fits cult classic.
I think so for sure. And then we will never see a full body shot of the creature. And I was right in a way. When we saw most of them, we found out the only prosthetics were on the arms and the head, right? So like we didn't see head to toe C.H.U.D suit, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like that's all the prosthetic they had for it. Bop and soundtrack. Okay, yes, but very sparingly. I forgot there was a soundtrack in this movie, and then every so often there would be a killer track.
Yeah.
So like they had some good music.
I agree.
But I would forget that it even existed until like, oh right, there's music in this movie. Because
Yeah.
they did not use it a lot.
No, I'm right there with you.
And then I will side with a creature made from man's negligence, right? I mean, kinda. The C.H.U.Ds only exist because of the toxic waste dumping and the cover-ups, right? So,
Yeah.
like, in a sense, yeah, I kind of side with the creature more in that way because man is the reason they exist. And then not a lot of on-screen kills. Gotta be my most accurate expectation to date.
I mean, all of them.
Every C.H.U.D kill was like drag them off stage and
Yeah.
then kill them and then burp. Basically,
Yeah.
was the vibe of the kill.
No, really though.
So for me, my surprise is I loved the glowing eyes on the C.H.U.Ds. I thought that was a really cool design there. And also, we didn't mention when she cuts off the head of the C.H.U.D and it's rolling around on the ground, you know it's dead because the eyes go out. They stop glowing, which I thought was neat. I thought it was neat that there was more than one creature. I was not expecting that. I thought the C.H.U.D was going to be one thing. I didn't expect it was going to be a bunch of them created after the radiation, but it was really neat.
I like that too.
And then my last surprise was just that I really enjoyed the plot twist where C.H.U.D actually meant something completely different.
Yeah.
That really worked for me. I
was
loved
awesome.
that. Because,
Yeah, it was great.
calling them cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller. And again, that goes to show why the cannibal thing was kind of weird to us,
Yes,
right?
that's
Because
what
they're
we're gonna
not.
talk about. 'Cause they're not.
They just had to make a weird name for them to cover up their cover up.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Those are my surprises. Where did you end up?
Sorry, I saw the fly again.
Dude, Crash Janty is shaking within me. It's like a werewolf. He's going to take over.
Oh my god. The creature was really cool. Yeah. I was wrong. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was wrong about the suit being hard to move in. Obviously,
Yeah.
It was basically just an arms and head.
Yeah, just
They
arms
didn't
and
do
head.
Much moving, but it was cool. Like
Yeah.
what was there of it was really cool. Hate to reuse the thing about the person falling down screaming. So yeah, it was more like person scream, grabbed by hand, person gone.
Like you got decent shots of like the arms of
Yeah.
C.H.U.D pulling people away, but other than that, yeah.
And which was cool, but
Yeah,
it
it was
wasn't what I
alright.
expected. Super annoying characters. Yeah, I mean the photographer and the reporter plots just didn't need to be in the movie at all.
Yeah.
If I could just have a cut of C.H.U.D that was just the detective Bosch and AJ the Reverend,
yes,
and that's it.
really great.
That would have been
would've
fantastic
good.
because
Yeah,
they did the majority of everything.
exactly. I hated the photographer and his model girlfriend.
And then the reporter was there for like 3 minutes.
He was so useless. I don't know why they kept trying to cram him into every scene. Because there were scenes of him in the beginning too, like at the precinct trying to bother the cops.
I
Be like,
forgot
come
about
on, man, let me in on the scoop. You got to tell me something. Like he just was a useless character through
And then he
through.
just died.
And then he just died for no reason.
An outlandish origin story. So I mean, kind of. We kind of pieced together the origin story more than the movie gave us.
Yeah.
though. But I loved the plot twist of the C.H.U.D name. I
Loved that. That was very, very good.
All of the cool effects were in that 1 minute trailer. I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
The only effect was the car exploding.
Honest though.
And then my surprises, I enjoyed it a lot. I wasn't bored.
Yeah?
The C.H.U.Ds were cool. I wanted more, if anything.
Really?
The police officer guy was actually a great character. No nudity
Yeah,
surprised me
not
as
at
well.
all.
I expected it at the beginning because what's her face was a model and whatever, but we never saw it at all.
Yeah, she was making comments about like putting makeup on her butt because that's where a pimple was.
Yeah.
It was a weird. Yeah, strange. But yeah,
yeah.
I liked that it didn't go that way. I thought it was
wasn't
good, though.
it wasn't cliche 80s stuff.
It's
so.
the first time I feel like I've watched one of these knowing there's a sequel and actually been kind of eager to check it out. And like just based off of what we've told you here, go watch the trailer for the sequel. It is almost completely a different movie. There are no monster designs. It's just a guy in kind of gaunty makeup.
Yeah, it's called C.H.U.D the Bud.
Yeah.
He's like this buff guy who is actually a
And
cannibal.
it's just completely a different
Has nothing
story.
to do with the sewers.
No,
It's
but
just-
they call it a sequel to C.H.U.D. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't understand where you guys messed up.
I think they only called it that because the original was a success.
Yes, made tons of money apparently. Do you want to talk about our verdicts?
Yeah.
So for me, again, I feel like after watching this, I was a little more down in the dumps about it. But like, so I gave it horrible, like for sure. I think it fits horrible. But for me, I said barely making that cut. But I don't know if it's that barely. I think it kind of is horrible for me, just like through and through. I just said the film kept cutting into its own action, and the writing was pretty pitiful. But I still loved the creatures, and they found some ways to make it a clever story utilizing radiation waste and the underground dwellers of New York City. I liked it actually.
Yeah.
So this is for sure horrible. Like honestly, for me, this is up there in our rankings for me.
For me, this is a higher of the Horribles as well. I mean, it's like a 3-star movie.
Yeah.
You know, it was good when it was really good.
Yep.
And it was just kind of shit when it was shit.
Yeah,
But, you know,
honestly though,
nothing really bothered me. Nothing stepped out like to really grind at me to make me lower that score.
Yeah.
So yeah, horrible.
yeah,
Horrible
absolutely.
through and through.
I liked it a lot. Blah blah.
There he is.
It is me. I am Count TRVA. Ooh.
TRVA.
It is me,
Turva?
Count TRVA.
Turva?
Yeah, it stands. Shit, it stands for trivia, reporter, vampire. Trivia reporter, vampire. It's me, Count
But,
TRVA.
is A.
That's you get it. Yes, you are with me. Yes,
Yeah,
please take these cards. I am going to go away
All
now.
right.
Oh.
I love you.
All right, so trivia for this one. So, it is one of John Goodman's first movie appearances. He plays the cop in the diner. I didn't know that.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
When we're doing this live action, when
Uh-huh.
people can see this,
Live action.
you've got to start putting your trivia on actual index cards
And reading them.
and having Count Trivia actually hand them to you.
Okay, absolutely.
Make that happen,
Sure.
please.
Yeah, it's going to happen for sure.
Okay. Make
So-
Count Trivia exist.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
He exists always. He's always existed. He's a cryptid.
Look
Count
at him.
Trivia
Look at
exists.
his little fangs.
But this is Count TRVA. So yeah, one of John Goodman's first movie appearances. Didn't know that.
That's crazy.
Lore Matos, who is the one who dies in the beginning with the dog. She was the movie's first on-screen kill. Is the real wife of co-star Daniel Stern, who was the Reverend. Yeah,
cool.
Didn't know. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Get this. This was part of Jordan Peele's inspiration for his 2019 horror movie Us. Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
And a VHS version of C.H.U.D can be seen in the movie. You can see it in the film.
That's incredible.
Isn't that nuts?
And that makes a lot of sense.
Right. I just thought that was so crazy to me. It was kind of wild to me.
Is that the one you were freaking out about?
That was one of the cool ones I found.
Yeah.
Here's another one that was kind of interesting to me. In 2011, as an April Fool's Day joke, the Criterion Collection, aka
What?
Utah's most prestigious distributor of home video, they announced that it was releasing a special edition DVD and Blu-ray disc of C.H.U.D with spine number 573.
That's incredible.
But that was later assigned to the Music Room from 1958. C.H.U.D did, however, receive a special edition Blu-ray release from Arrow Video in 2016. But that's pretty fucked up for them to be
That's incredible.
April Fools were releasing C.H.U.D. That's so funny to me.
Criterion Collection presents.
And then
C.H.U.D.
finally, I just said there's an urban legend which was proven false in 1985 that suggested that this was based on a true story that happened in Cincinnati in the 1970s.
Oh, cool.
Again, urban legend proved false, but yeah. Still, that one about Jordan Peele's Us, that's
That
crazy to me,
blows
right?
my mind.
Wow.
That also
Thank
makes
you,
a lot of sense.
Count TRVA. You're welcome.
Hey, your headphones came unplugged.
I know,
but
I
you
can't hear
me
anything.
anymore.
Do you want to tell them about what we're doing next?
I would love to.
Because this time it was your turn to pick the movie.
It was me. So The Nun 2 is coming out pretty soon. And I kind of enjoyed the Conjuring movies.
I remember them being kind of a miss for me, but it's been a minute.
So I thought it would be fun. I haven't seen The Nun.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be fun if we watched The Nun.
I was shocked too. It's sitting at 18%. I thought people liked this
Is it
movie
at
more.
18% right now?
18% is what
It
the
was
Nun
at
is at.
25 the last time I looked.
Oh wow! Some people went in and shit on that movie.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, The Nun from 2018 is sitting at an 18%. Isn't that
Dang,
nuts?
that's insane.
Kind of wild, right?
With over 200 reviews. So I'm very curious to see how bad it was. What do we know what the Conjuring movies were?
Probably higher than that, I would assume.
I can't spell Conjuring this quickly. Are you kidding me? But yeah, I really like the idea of the Conjuring movies. I mean, they're a little cheesy, but you like them.
I love to revisit them.
86%.
Yeah, so that's a huge
That's
departure.
a pretty big drop.
But it's kind of wild to me because like The Nun, and I guess we'll have to look at how much money it made, but like it's sitting at an 18%. Why would they pursue a sequel to this? So I'm curious about it. So yeah, I'm into this one. I'm excited to watch The Nun.
I am as well. And so, I mean, just for perspective, so Conjuring 1 and 2 are both in the 80s.
Yes.
The Devil Made Me Do It is at 55, which people didn't really care for.
Okay.
And then The Nun is at 25. So
Wow.
it'll be an interesting week next week.
Pretty wild, right? Be sure to check out our social medias. We're on Instagram at _was_horrible. We got Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook and YouTube now. I think are we all set on YouTube?
Everything
now?
is up on YouTube.
Everything's
now.
up on YouTube, so we should be from now on be uploading it onto YouTube as well. But yeah, check us out both those places. Look up That Was Horrible Podcast on Facebook and just That Was Horrible on YouTube.
And rate us. It really helps us out a lot.
Yes, please. If you're listening to this, just give it something generous. You know, I'm not going to force your hand. If you don't think we deserve 5 stars, that's fine. I'll just cry about it.
Oh, don't cry. Someone out there is going to rate you 5 stars.
Really, you mean it?
I mean it. And for those YouTube people who stayed
Thank
for this
you,
whole thing,
'cause we pleaded
all
with you
of
in the
you will
beginning.
do it.
Yes.
All of you is going to do it. Thank you.
'Cause you're so nice.
I'm so happy to have you.
And thank you to everybody else for listening and listening to us rant
love
and
it.
rave about
It's
the bad
great.
horror movies. We really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you very much. And join us next week for watching The Nun.
Or watch it, or have none of it.
That's none of your business.
All right, none of that.
Bye.